Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Sankalpa series for ABM and we are covering objective as well as important theory as well as numericals for the subject. Today we will be covering chapter number 6, theory of probability. In my earlier lecture also I had covered some part and some numericals, some theory and some numerical. Today also we will be doing the same. We will be covering some important definitions, theoretical and numericals. Okay, so watch the video till the end. Random experiment. Now these are important again this points from your examination point of view. Random experiment means what? Random means what? What do you mean by random in our normal life? Random. I'll select a random number. Means what? I'm selecting any number. Whatever comes to my mind. Same logic over here. I'm going on a random tour. Means I haven't decided. I'm going anywhere randomly. Okay. So random means anything which is not decided. Same thing over here. A random experiment is any well-defined procedure that produces an observable outcome that could not be perfectly predicted in advance, isn't it? Could not be perfectly predicted. So this is an important point, which cannot be. Now, what cannot be perfectly predicted? Suppose if I ask you today, what will be this stock market Nifty for share market from today to let's say 3 months ahead? You can't predict. No one can predict, isn't it? What will be the gold prices after some time? Means let's say 6 months, for example. No one can predict. So these are all random, which could not be perfectly predicted in advance. There are many examples as such, isn't it? Now somebody might ask you now. Somebody might ask that whether I'll clear CAIIB or not. That is not random. That is never random. If you study, you will definitely clear it. So that's not random. Random means which I don't know at all. Even though I put in all the efforts, because efforts are of no use over there. Yeah, efforts can be put to some extent, but they are of less importance. You don't know the outcomes in that case. So a random experiment is any well-defined procedure. See this procedure, well-defined procedure that produces an observable outcome that could not be perfectly predicted in advance. Right? So similarly for your CAIIB also, well-defined procedure. If you study it well, then your outcome is actually cannot be defined. But if you study well, you will produce an observable outcome. You will clear it. So that is the meaning of this random experiment. Similarly in our statistics also, same logic. Suppose if I have 10 numbers, various 10 numbers, they can be anything. So if I have clubbed them and try to find some sequence out of them, then that is known as a observable outcome. Okay. A random experiment must be well defined to eliminate any vagueness or surprise. Here, well defined. It should be well defined means what is required should be clearly defined in my mind. Whenever you do anything in your practical life also as well as in the statistics also, you should have your objective very clear. If your objective is not clear, you'll end up into the vagueness. You won't end up anywhere. Okay. So a random experiment must be well defined to eliminate any vagueness or surprise. So now if in exam the question comes, what do you mean by random experiment, or define random experiment, or it can be random experiment is defined as, will you be able to answer this? So two important words which you should remember: well defined procedure and could not be perfectly predicted. These two words are important from the exam point of view. Clear? Move on. Type yes in the comment section if you have understood this. So here, your main point is what is to be written in the exam. That's main point. Okay. So focus on that. Okay. Next one, sample space. A sample space S of a random experiment is defined as a set of all possible outcomes of an experiment. What do you mean by this? Okay, let me give you one or two examples over here. Suppose if I say a simple example of coin. Suppose if I flip a coin, either it can be head or it can be tail. Two outcomes are only possible, right? Suppose if I flip a dice means that 6. We used to play in our childhood, Ludo, right? That's 6-faced. So how many outcomes are possible? 6 outcomes. Either I can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So basically 6 outcomes are possible, right? So what is sample space then? Sample space of a random experiment is defined as a set of all possible outcomes, all. So here in this coin, I am having only 2 outcomes. So all possible outcomes is 2. Dice, here I am having six outcomes. So all possible outcomes is 6. So this is known as a sample space, okay, where all the possibilities are there. Suppose if I ask you, clearing the CAIIB, so what are the outcomes? There are 2 outcomes. Either you'll clear it or you won't clear it. It's as simple. So outcomes are 2, right? So this is meant by sample space. What all possibilities are available. Suppose if Chandrayaan 3, right now we are in that mood, right, everyone? Chandrayaan 3, tomorrow will it hit? It's here, sample spaces, it will hit, it won't hit, or whatever maybe. What all are the possibilities? The scientists take everything into consideration and they always have the backup plan ready for that, okay? So that's why sample space is the total amount of all possible outcomes which can come from that experiment. Got it? In the random experiment, the outcomes, also known as sample points, are mutually exclusive. That is, they cannot occur simultaneously. Means what? Mutually exclusive means what? See here, in the random experiment, the outcomes, also known as sample points. See, the sample points. So here, these are the sample points. Head is one sample point, tail is another sample point. Here, dice, if I am getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these are the sample points. So these are mutually exclusive. What do you mean by exclusive? Okay. In a coin, can head and tail occur, both of them occur simultaneously? Either it can be head or it can be tail, right? In a dice, can 1 and 2 occur simultaneously on the top? Never. That is called as exclusive. In CAIIB, can it happen that you will pass and fail both together? No. So exclusive events means one of them occurs and second doesn't occur. Okay, so both cannot occur simultaneously. That is the meaning of sample space. Now, why is sample space important over here? Definition is okay, but why is sample space important? Because the formula for probability is, here, probability formula is, what is probability formula? Success is, or we call it required. Success, whatever is my possibility of success upon total number, means SS I will call it, sample space. Always remember this. Or in simple terms, I always call it required upon total. These are the simple language definition of probability. Okay. Event. Banking event means a declaration of a banking moratorium or any suspension, waiver, deferral, or repudiation of payments by banks with respect to the indebtedness or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction. Very big definition and difficult one, right? Okay, let's read it completely. The imposition by any governmental authority of any moratorium or on or any suspension, waiver, deferral, or repudiation. So these are the 2 parts of that definition. Event means what? What do you mean by event? Suppose if I say there is a marriage, I have to go to that marriage. Means what? That is an event happening. Okay, I have to go to a cinema. That is the event happening. I have to go for a tour. That is the event happening. Okay, so declaration of a banking moratorium or any suspension. After all, this is also an event. Moratorium, that don't pay interest. What is moratorium? Moratorium means not paying interest or principal up to that part, right? In housing loan, we have moratorium. Students loan, we have moratorium, right? Education loan. So these are all moratorium. So that's an event. Or suspension. Suspension means roughly one and the same thing. This is just playing with the words moratorium, suspension. After all, it means not paying. Okay, keep it simple. Waiver. Waiver means here, there's a difference between suspension and waiver. Suspensions mean later you will have to pay. Waiver means nothing. Gone is gone. That is waiver. Deferral, again similar to suspension. Later you will have to pay. Don't pay it today. Pay it later. COVID. What happened in COVID? Banks had deferred the interest payment, right? Or repudiation of payments by the banks with respect to indebtedness. Indebtedness means the one who is having the loans. So I'll waive that some loans, I'll defer some this tax part, some interest part. So that is known as an event. Or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction means either it can be deposit or loans. Deposit it happens very less. Mainly it happens in loans. Okay. Imposition by any governmental authority of any moratorium on or any suspension, waiver, deferral or repudiation. We always see these things. Government, whenever the election comes, roughly few months before, there is waiver of farmer loans, right? You all banks get this circular from the state governments. Kindly waive off these loans up to this amount, up to this amount. So that is all an event. Okay, so we are talking here of banking event which relates to the bank, which relates to the finance. Okay, that is known as a banking event. Clear, everyone? Before going ahead, subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting number one latest updates on JIB and CIB. Okay, latest updates. From where do I get these updates? Here from IIBF. Direct the updates which are given by IIBF, they are directly received over here immediately. Okay, so updates from IIBF are not only received, they are explained to you also. See here, important part is IIBF updates are very many a times so confusing that students don't understand. So this making them simple is a huge task. Secondly, you get free YouTube series, free YT series. What is this? Okay, let me ask you, what are you watching right now? Right now, what are you watching? You're watching this probability series, right? Sankalpa series. What is that? Have you paid for it? No, free YouTube series. Similarly, you'll get free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB. All. So that's why follow this series completely from all the mentors. You'll gain a lot of knowledge. Okay. Subscribe to it now. Click on the bell icon. Click on this like button so that here, whatever is free, grab it fast. Also share it with your friends. Remember, whatever is free, you should share. Paid, I agree. Some of you might not be sharing the paid version. Of course, you shouldn't because you have paid for it. But whatever is free, you should share. Sharing is caring, isn't it? Mutually exclusive events means what? Things that are mutually exclusive are not able to occur simultaneously. Just now we saw something, isn't it? Exclusive means which doesn't occur at one time. Means either it can be sunrise or it can be a sunset. Both can be together. Of course, yeah, somebody might argue. In west it is sunset, in east it is sunrise. Agreed. I am talking from a normal human being perspective, not the intellectual perspective. Okay. So it can be either dark or it can be either light. Let's make it simple example, isn't it? So these two can't be together. It can be a head or it can be a tail. It can be both. In business also same thing. This is typically concerning the undertaking of a project and allocating a budget. So it's very simple. Either you'll complete that project or you don't complete that project. There is nothing in between. In CIB also, either you clear it or you don't clear it. There's nothing in between. Even if you get 59, you have not cleared it. Even if you get 51, you have cleared it. Even if you get 50, you have cleared it. Isn't it? So that is the difference. Exclusive means both the things can't occur at one time. If two things are not mutually exclusive, it means the existence and occurrence of one does not necessarily mean that other cannot exist. Now this is a reverse thing given. Means not exclusive. If something is not exclusive, it means what? Here. This not exclusive. Okay. What does it mean? Not exclusive means they can occur simultaneously also. As I said, dark and night, day and night, there is a twilight in between, isn't it? So that twilight. Or even the marks like this. It can be pass or fail, but in your college exams, you had something different also. First class, second class, then what? Pass was again divided into various classes, right? So anything which can simultaneously occur or simultaneously go on is known as this mutually exclusive, not mutually exclusive event. Okay. Random trial or experiment. What do you mean by this random trial? Again, just now we saw some random name, random definition, right? An operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions and which has number of possible outcomes is called a random experiment or trial. Here, if the exam question comes about random experiment or trial, typically this definition, this is from your book. So, an operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions. Identical is very important. Identical means similar. Okay, means here what do we do in simulations? Suppose if I see something like Chandrayaan 3 is going has gone to the moon, but how was the experiment done? How was the trial of this done? Similar situations were created on the Earth, moon-like situations, and then that is called as what? That is not called as identical situation. Whatever exists in the moon, whatever is the gravity in the moon, same thing is conducted over here. Okay, so under identical conditions, and which has a number of possible outcomes. So various possible outcomes may be possible, is known as a random experiment or trial. So examples are the same which we saw earlier: tossing a coin, throwing a dice, selecting a card from a pack of cards, right? So I can select anything: king, queen, 1, 2, 3, 4, ace, anything, isn't it? So that's called as a random experiment or trial. Now let us see some numericals. I told you we'll be dealing with important definitions, and then we'll be dealing with numericals. In how many ways one ball can be selected from 5 balls? What is this? One ball can be selected in 5 balls. So it is what? It is, always remember, whenever you have to select such thing, you always use the formula of NCR. Okay, what is N? N is total number, sample space, complete sample space. Complete sample space is 5 balls. So N equals to 5. What is the required number of outcome? R equals to 1. What is required? This is required, 1. Okay. So NCR becomes what? 5C1. 5C1. What is 5C1? See here, the formula is this: N factorial upon R factorial into N minus R factorial. Right? This is the formula for NCR. So I'll just input the values now. N factorial is what? 5 factorial upon, what is R? 1. 1 factorial into 5 minus 1 factorial. Sorry, 1 over here. 5 minus 1 factorial. Right? So that becomes what? Factorial means what? Suppose if I ask you 5 factorial means what? Suppose if I am asking you 5 factorial, it means what? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? That is the meaning of factorial. Up to 1 I go. I can write it in this way also. See here, I can write this 5 into, what is this? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. I can write it 4 factorial, isn't it? So 5 into 4 factorial equals to 5 factorial. So this, I'll just solve it now. So 5 factorial means what? 5 into 4 factorial, the whole upon 1 factorial is 1 only. So answer is 1 over here. Leave it. 5 minus 1, that is 4 factorial. 4 factorial. So now what happens? This gets cancelled. So my answer is what? 5. So in how many ways can I select one ball from 5 balls? So that is NCR 5 factorial upon 4 factorial, that is 5. In 5 ways I can select it. Okay. Now I'll give you one thing for homework. You can check it, try it yourself. In how many ways can I select 4 balls out of 5 balls? I can select 4 balls out of 5 balls. And the funniest part is you'll see the answer is same. So if you want, you can check it. You'll get the same answer. 5 factorial upon, because what is the denominator? 4 factorial into 5 minus 4. So it becomes 1 and the same. Right? So that's why always remember, you get such questions in exam for 1 mark. Okay. Second one. From a group of 5 boys and 4 girls, 2 boys and 3 girls is to be selected. How many ways of doing it? Okay. Simple. Let's see. See here, I've taken similar problem earlier. Okay. So see here, what do we want? And important point is, 2 boys and 3 girls is to be selected. So what is the question? Always focus on the question. Question is what? Look at this. I'll write it over here. 2 boys and, this and word is very important, 3 girls. This is my question. Focus on this only. If it is and, it is multiplication. If this would have been or, then it would have been addition. I'll solve both. Let's see both. Okay. We'll solve first this question and then I'll solve this OR question. Okay. So now let's do it. Keep it simple. See this, boys. This is boy and this is girl. Right. So I want to select what? How many boys are there? 5. So total n equals to 5. What is required? How many are to be selected? 2 boys are to be selected. So R equals to 2. Right. In girls, what is the total number of girls? 4. So n equals to 4. What is required? R equals to 3. Now find out the probabilities of both. So it is what? NCR. So 5 factorial. Again use the same. Just now I gave you 5 factorial upon 2 factorial means R factorial into n minus R. 5 minus 2. 3 factorial. Right? Similarly over here 4 factorial upon 3 factorial into 4 minus 3, that is 1 factorial. So solve this. This 3 factorial and this goes. Means what happens here? Just now I told you 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. Right? That is the meaning of 5 factorial. The whole upon. Just go on dividing this. 2 factorial is what? 2 factorial 2. 2 into 1. Right? 2 into 1 up to that only. 3 factorial, keep it as it is. Even that is easy. What is this? Big deal. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So 6. Right. So this gets cancelled. 2 1s are 2 2s are. So this becomes 10. Right. Second, about girls. So that is quite easy. 4 factorial upon 3. See, 4 and 3 means it will become just 4 answer over here. Right. That much you can solve it now. 4 into 3 factorial. That goes 3. 4 is the answer. So for girls, I am having 4 ways and for boys, I am having 10 ways. But what is asked? And. So when and is asked, and. Okay. When and is asked, my answer will be what? Answer equals to 10 into 4. Okay. 10 into 4. So that is 40 ways. I can select them in 40 ways. Okay. For this question. So example 2, this answer is over. Now if I ask you a separate question, what did I say? I'll solve for both. Now we'll solve for this OR. Okay. Let me change the color. Otherwise you'll get confused over here, isn't it? So now for OR, let me mark it over here. OR. So what is for OR? OR means what? What did I say? Plus. Okay. So it is what? 10 plus 4. So that is 14 ways. So if I want to select this 2 boys and 3 girls, there are 40 ways. If I want to select 2 boys or 3 girls, there are only 14 ways. This is the way the numericals are to be solved. Okay. Now, everyone download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. In this app, you are getting the premium study material plus live classes, ebooks, tests, whatever you need for clearing your JIB and CIB, you'll get it over here. So download it fast. Okay. Exams are near. Okay. Everyone, before going, let me show you the batches. Importantly, because here, hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Sankalpa series for ABM. We are covering various numericals, theory questions, objective questions for the subject. Today we'll be covering theory of probability, chapter number 6. We'll be covering some important theory parts plus some numericals. So let's start without wasting the time, isn't it? Let's start. Chalo. Let's move on. So first point is, what is probability? Probability means chances, either a single chance or chance. Here it's chance oblique s, means chance or chances, okay, or possibility of happening an event. So that is probability. Suppose if I ask you tomorrow, somebody is jumping from the 10th floor of a building. Somebody is jumping from the 10th floor of a building. So is there any probability involved in this? Means what will be the probability of the death? Obviously 1, because it is sure to happen, isn't it? So similarly, somebody is jumping from just ground floor on the road to the road, same thing. What is the probability of death? 0. So probability means chance of happening. Okay. So suppose if I, let's say, purchase some share, okay, stock market, some shares. So what is the probability of that going up? There is a probability. What is the probability of going down? There is again a probability, isn't it? Means it can happen or it may not happen. So that is the meaning of probability. means chances or possibility of happening an event or not happening in the event. Here, when it's not given, it means what? Not happening the event also. For example, suppose we want to go plan for a picnic in the weekend. Suppose you plan for a picnic. What do we do? Before planning, what do we do? First, we check the weather forecast, see what is the chance that it will rain at that time. Accordingly, we may do the planning, isn't it? So not only weather forecast, this is just one example. You can also check for the hotel bookings. Suppose if you are going to stay somewhere, you'll also check for the railway or this airplane bookings, whatever you are planning for. So these are all the possibilities which you always check, isn't it? Similarly, not only for this is just one example for picnic. Okay, let's say you are planning to go to buy, let's say some equity. Okay, we are in ABM. Okay, let's consider in ABM only. Suppose if you are planning to clear this ABM exam, okay, for CAIIB. So what is the probability of clearing? First, what will you check? You'll first check the syllabus, right? Secondly, what will you check? You'll check in after syllabus, you'll check what are the details, mean where are the numericals, how many case studies are there. These all things you'll be checking. And then you'll decide your probability of clearing this subject, isn't it? So logic applies the same everywhere, whether you go for a picnic, whether you go for this clearing this subject, or whether you do anything in life, isn't it? So logic remains the same. You have to first check what all equipments do you have, what all will be the roadblocks which will come in your way, and then move on, and then check the probability of clearing. Probability gives a numerical measure of this chance or possibility, right? Numerical. Here, always remember, probability is between what? 0 to 1. Only 0 to 1. It can't be more than 1. It can't be less than 0. Simple. Okay. Suppose it says there are 60% chance that rain may occur in this weekend. So 60% means what? 0.6 is the probability of raining. So that's it. That's the numerical part. 60% probability. Nowadays, you can check this. Go to Google weather today. Today only. Just now go to Google weather. Okay. And just type your city name and weather or rain situation. You'll get all the on this probabilities of raining every hourly basis. Same thing happens. Okay. So that's the use of probability. To understand the concept of probability, first we have to understand the concept of factorial, permutation, and combinations. So what is factorial? First we need to know that. What is permutation? What is combination? Only then we can understand something, isn't it? We can go ahead in that case. So let's understand first factorial. What is factorial? It is equal to the product of all the positive integers which are less than or equal to the given positive number. Means what? Less than or equal to. Let me show you this. Let's take one example. 5 factorial. 5 factorial. What did we say? What is the definition? All positive integers which are less than or equal to. Look at this. Both the words. Less than or equal to. So 5 also. And what is given? Product. Multiplication. Okay. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. 5 for the 20, 60, 120. So 5 factorial is 120. Right? Now give me the answer for 6 factorial. 6 factorial. What is the answer for 6 factorial? Everyone, give me the answer. 6 into 5 into same thing again. Okay? I'll just write this into 1. Right? So 120 into 6. So it is equal to 720. Now one thing which you'll note over here is 6 factorial can be written as this way also. I can write it this way also. 6 into 5 factorial. Isn't it? What's the difference? No difference. 5 factorial, I have taken it 1 into 5 into 4 up to 5. Then I have just multiplied with 6. So similarly 7 factorial. 6 factorial into 7. Okay. So this way also you can write a factorial. So one thing which we should note always is 0 factorial is always equal to 1. Okay, and 1 factorial also equals to 1. These are the two important factorials which you should always remember. So got the concept of factorial? Okay. Now on the calci, give me the answer for, let's say, simple one. 4 factorial. Okay. Why calci is required over here? Just give me the answer immediately. 4 factorial. I could have given you a difficult number. Okay, try at your home. 12 factorial. Not, yeah, thus such big numbers don't come in exam. But this try it at your home. Give me the answer in the comment section. Okay. 4 factorial is what? 4 3 is 12 to the 24. Right? 24. That's the answer. Isn't it? Got it? Factorial. Next one. Before going ahead, see this. Subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you'll get the latest updates on JIB and CAIIB from IIBF. Whatever IIBF gives you, gives the notification, immediately they are declared over here and explained. Not only declared, they are explained over here. Okay, number one. Number two, you get the free YouTube series. So, see this. Number one, what you get? Number one, you get updates. One is updates, latest updates from IIBF, and second is free YouTube series. What are you watching right now? YT series. Okay, free YT series. Right now you are watching this for ABM. Similarly, we have for BFM or ABFM, BRBL, all the 4-5 subjects, plus for JIB, everything. Whatever is free, grab it fast, isn't it? Click on this, subscribe to this, click on the bell icon, click on this this like button, share it with your friends. Here, sharing is caring. Whatever you can share it for, whatever you get free, kindly share it with others, isn't it? So that's why I go for it right now. Now let's come to permutations and combinations, because these were the two parts we wanted to discuss, factorial and P and C. Okay. So what is the permutation? Here, understand the difference between the two. It's very single one-liner difference. I'll show you with example. Suppose if I have what A and B, two numbers, or two persons A and B, two persons A and B. Okay. So if A sits to the left of B, with this position, okay, or I'll give you a second position. Second position will be like this. B sits over here and A sits over here. Means B sits to the left. Earlier A sat on the left. So what is the difference? See, the difference lies if you think of permutation. If you think of combination, no difference. Whether A sits over here or B sits over here, whatever that position is, in combination it doesn't make any difference. No difference. No difference. But in permutation it makes the difference. Permutation is very specific. Okay. So permutation is the arrangement of the objects in which order is a priority. Say this, order is a priority. Okay. The fundamental difference between permutation and combination is the order of the objects. Order is very important. In permutation, the order of the object is very important. A sitting to the left of B or B sitting to the left of A is the difference over here. And combination is the arrangement of objects in which order is irrelevant. Whether A be on this side or that side or anything, let it be. Nobody cares. So, before going to the examples, let me write this formula for this permutation and combination. See, what are the formula? Let me bring in one slide over here, because that is required for you for writing the formula. Okay, one sec. So, see this. Permutation formula is P. I'll just write it P now. Okay, P equals to n factorial upon n minus r factorial. This is the formula for permutation. Now, what is it for combination? Combination is similar to that, but slight difference, equals to n factorial upon, now look at this, it is r factorial into n minus r factorial. So what are you doing actually? Okay, you can write this as this way also, P upon permutation upon r factorial. Even that is the right answer. Combination equals to this, permutation is same, upon r factorial. So P upon r factorial, it's one and the same. Okay. So while remembering the formula, always remember only one formula. You remember only this combination formula, or you remember only permutation. Anyone is okay. But remember, what is n, what is r? N is always the total number of elements. N equals to total. And r is equal to what is required. Always remember this. N is total, r is required. Okay. Means suppose if I ask you, okay, why to go for this? We'll see the examples only. In examples, you will be able to note everything. Okay, let's see the example. That becomes easier. In how many ways 3 pencils can be selected from 5 pencils? Now look at this. Here comes the question of permutation and combination. You have to think over here that 3 pencils means what? See here, these are 5 pencils. So I can arrange any 3 pencils, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Suppose these are the pencils. These are the 5 pencils, okay? So out of them, 3 are to be selected. So I can select these 3. I can select these 3. I can select any 3. 1, 2 and 3. I can select this way also. Anything. And also, once I select these 3 pencils, I can put, suppose if I name them ABC, A, B, C, D and E, okay? So I can put them in this way also, ABC as one combination, or BAC, other combination, CAB. So that is irrelevant. Third one is also there. So that is irrelevant, right? In fact, there can be many, isn't it? So this combination is irrelevant. So here comes the question of whether this problem is of permutation or combination. How will you decide? So when we say ABC, BAC, CAB, ACB, whatever it is, that is irrelevant. So we are talking of what? We are talking of combination, C. So here you have to find the answer for C. So it is, what is the formula for that? N factorial upon, just now we wrote it, right? R factorial into N minus R factorial, right? So what was N? Total. What did I say about N? N is always the total. So 5. 5 factorial upon, what was R? R is required. What is required? 3. 3 factorial into 5 minus 3, right? 5 N minus R. 3 factorial. Okay, so 2 factorial. So it becomes what? 5 factorial upon 3 factorial into 2 factorial. So how can I solve this here? It's very, you can solve this definitely. 120 you can find this answer, but I would always suggest you, as I've given you a hint for writing the factorial. 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. This way you can write this 5 factorial, right? What was that factorial? Earlier numbers you go on writing it. So here 3 factorial gets cancelled. So what happens? You are saved from doing one calculation. This is gone, this is gone. So now it's easy. 5 for the 20 upon 2 factorial is what? 2 into 1. 2 factorial means what? This is what? 2 into 1. So 2 into 1 is 2. So the answer is what? 10. In 10 different ways, I can select 3 pencils out of the 5 pencils. Okay. So that is the meaning of the C, combination. Because the important part over here was the order was irrelevant. Which pencil was to be placed where, that was irrelevant. So that's why it was easy to solve this. Okay. Next one. From a group of 7 boys and 6 girls, 3 boys and 4 girls are to be selected. In how many ways can this be done? Now tell me again, whether this problem is of permutation or combination. Write in the comment section. Just write P or C. Whether it is P or C. Write it fast in the comment section. Is it P or is it C? Let me see. Yeah. What is it? Yes. It is C, combination. Why? Because how these girls and boys are situated, it's not mentioned. These 3 boys will be to the left, or these 4 girls will be to the left, or among these 3 boys, A will be to the left, B will be to the right, whatever, nothing mentioned. So it's after all a combination. So what is given here? Boys and girls, 2 things are there, and we have to select 3 boys and 4 girls to be selected. And whenever you have and in probability, always remember, and means always and equals to multiply. And if you have or, so or equals to always plus. If this would have been given that 3 boys or 4 girls, so then it would have been plus. But it's given that and. So 3 boys and 4 girls. So that is multiplication. So how to do this? See this. Firstly, solve boys separately and girls separately. Keep it very simple. I'll draw a line over here. Okay. Boys and girls. Okay. So what is given over here for boys? So how many boys are there total? N equals to 7. What is R required? What is the required number of boys? 3 boys are to be selected. Similarly for girls. How many girls are there? 6. N equals to 6, right? How many girls are required? 4. So R equals to 4. Now I know its combination. So I'll use the combination formula. So C equals to what? N factorial. So 7 factorial upon R factorial 3 factorial into 7 minus 4 factorial 7 minus 3 factorial. Sorry. Okay. So N minus R. Similarly over here 6 factorial upon 4 factorial into 6 minus 4 factorial. Right? That's the answer. Now find it out everyone. Let me see the answer from your side. So solve it. 7 factorial upon 3 factorial into this is 4 factorial. So this 7 and 4 gets cancelled. So it is 7 into 5 into 6. Sorry, 6 into 5, right? And 4 factorial will get cancelled. And this 3 factorial is what? 3 into 2 into 1. 4 factorial is gone. So only this much. 3 to the 6 and this 6 gone. 7 5 is 35. So the answer is 35 over here for boys. What about the girls? What is the answer? Give me the answer, guys. Everyone, give me the answer for girls. Yes. You can write it this way also, no? 6 factorial means what? 6 into 5 into 4 factorial, right? This is what is the required part. And upon 4 factorial gets cancelled. 4 factorial will cancel this later. 6 into 6 minus 4, 2 factorial. So this is 2 factorial. So if you solve this, what will you get? This gets cancelled with this. 2 factorial is 2 only. 2 3s are 5 3s are 15. So answer is 15. Getting this, everyone? Are you getting this? Let me see the answers in the comment section. Are you getting this 15? Yeah. Now what is required? What is required? How many ways this can be done? How many ways? Here, and is given. And means what did I say? Multiply. So I want boys and girls. And over here. And. So when I want and, it means it's multiply. So what will I do? So total number of ways equals to 35 into 15. Okay. So 15 into 35. This is what you have to find out. So what is the answer? 15 5s are 75. Okay. 15 3s are 45 plus 7 52. So 5 to 5 ways. In 525 ways, you can select 7 out of 7 boys and 6 girls. You can select 3 boys and 4 girls and arrange them. Okay. Suppose if I ask you one question now, let's see how many of you can solve this. I'll ask you or. Okay. The question over here is you have to select 3 boys or 4 girls. 3 boys or 4 girls. Now give me the answer. 3 boys or 4 girls. Now I'll ask you the question for or. So what is the answer? Wage equals to, let me see in the comment section, 3 boys or 4 girls. Yes, it is correct. Or means everyone. Yes. Let me see. Type fast. I'll wait over here. It is or. So it is 35 here. These numbers won't change. This 35 boys number will be the same. This NCR. Then similarly girls NCR will be the same. So what we have to do? We have only to plus this 35 plus 15, right? Because or. So it is 50. So in 50 ways I can select 3 boys or 4 girls. And when I say and 3 boys and 4 girls, it is 525 ways. So this is the answer for the required problem, and this is the answer for suppose if or is asked in the exam. Okay. Got it, everyone? Now, everyone download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. In this app, you will be getting the premium study material plus live classes, ebooks, test, everything. Whatever you need for clearing JIB and CIB, you will get it over here. Okay. So that's why download it fast because exams are near. Also, I would suggest join the batches. Okay. See this. I'll show you this. Let me go to the batches directly. Okay. Let's go to Adda 24/7. In Adda 24/7, you'll see the batches. here. Go to Adda 20%. Huge discounts are going on right now. Okay. See this. If you're having the app, I would suggest you go through the app only. Okay. Click on JIB and CIB. Okay. Then look at this. CIB